Hello, good afternoon. It's Thursday afternoon, and I'm excited to bring another community together with two great guests that we have on today. We've got Drorit Pobuta from Agoura Power of Yoga and Kerri Scherzay from the YMCA. So welcome both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So what we're going to talk about today was we are sitting here in week 5. There's a lot going on as far as what people can do for exercise. We are in a community where people are very used to exercising for physical, mental relief, everything that's going on. And I think what you two are doing from the YMCA and from my Agoura Power of Yoga, from what you're doing and what you're offering to the community is remarkable that we definitely want to share. So Drorit, let's start with you. Let's talk a little bit about who you are, the studio, and what you're doing with the community right now. So thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Not only thank you for having me, but thank you for giving me a reason to actually put regular clothes on. A little makeup. That's a great motivator to feel normal. I'm in the same boat as everybody else. Obviously, I might have a few little tools or skills to stay a little bit more calm, but trust me, I have my days as well. And moments. It's a little harder to sleep these days. So Agoura Power of Yoga is a small donation-based studio. I opened it about 11 years ago, something like that. And it's donation-based. And so what that means is we have regular memberships just like any other place and, class passes, but we don't want to turn anyone away that can't afford it. So we used to have completely donation based. I mean, it was like $0, $1, whatever. We now have a minimum of 10 and then speak to us if it's less than 10, because we were feeling like there was a little misunderstanding with that kind of thing. But yes, absolutely. We don't turn people away. I actually force people to come to my class for free when someone tells me they have some sort of either emotional issue or something they're going through in their life, or maybe something physical. And I want to I know I've had so many years of teaching under my belt, and I know I can help them with something. So I kind of force them a little bit. I'll never force anyone to come to my class that's a normal client that pays, but someone who I will not take money from, I force them. So that's how we do it. I've been there for 11 years. We have all sorts of yoga. I have wonderful teachers. Everyone is very experienced, been doing it for a while. We're very much into alignment and making sure everyone's safe. Every teacher is different, which I love. I don't want to have everything be exactly the same. That is the last thing that I want. So I think that's really unique about our studio, is you can never go into one class and then go into another and have the same experience or anything even in remotely the same, really, honestly.
So now that you're not in the studio, nobody can come to the studio. Yes. Let's talk about what you're doing and what made you decide to do this, because I follow you and I love it. So let's share with us what you're doing.
Well, first, let's just say that one of my greatest joys in my life is to teach yoga. I think that you know that. I'm just light up when I go into the yoga room and people walk in. I'm like, I mean, I don't really have horrible days, but if I were to have a very bad day, something terrible happened, it would probably completely go away the moment everyone walked in the door. That's how powerful it is for me. So for me, it's a joy. I think when this whole thing happened, I think we were all kind of like, what's happening? What's going on? It took a few days. I think we were all like, what is happening? And then as soon as I was like, oh God, okay, we're here for a while. I didn't know it was going to be, months. I thought a couple weeks, something like that. So I got my act together. I woke up one morning. I've never even done a video speaking into my phone live ever. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to do this. And I did it one time. And I got so many messages or whatever. You have no idea. That saved me today. Some really emotional, deep messages, people going through a lot of really terrible things. So I was like, okay, I have to do this tomorrow, I guess, and it just turned into every day. I was like, how could I not do it tomorrow? How could I not do it tomorrow? My family's like, Mom, take a day off, take 2 days off. You don't have to do it every day. Just do it 4 days a week or something. Like, oh, yeah, okay, I will. I won't do it tomorrow. And then of course I do it tomorrow. And that's just basically what's happening. I've been taking
you're doing a live yoga every day.
Yes.
At 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock?
It was at 9, and then I switched it to 10. And then I decided I wanted to try to use my recordings out of my studio. And I have another teacher that's doing it there at the time I was doing it. And this has been her business now. I mean, people are living from paycheck to paycheck. So I didn't want to impose on her time. We kind of changed her time a little bit. So I snuck in there at 9 now. So we're at 9 now, which is fine because it stays on my Facebook page all day long until the next day. So if someone can't do it at 9, then, they can do it later, but they can't do it the other way around, obviously. So we did it like that.
Yeah, it's incredible. And I think we'll come back to what yoga does for you spiritually and for people, and why yoga and how can people, start. But I'd love to bring Kerri in and welcome Kerri to
Thank you so much.
Community Together. And Kerri, we had an opportunity to meet when we toured the YMCA, and we love the YMCA, and it's all about community, and it's a perfect time for what you're doing. So Kerri, let's talk a little bit about who you are, how you're involved with obviously what the YMCA is here in Westlake Village, and what the YMCA is doing, or what you're offering to people.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. So I have decades of experience in the industry working as a trainer and an instructor. So I'm an instructor at the YMCA in Westlake Village, the Yarrow branch. And we are under the Southeast Ventura County YMCA. They have 3 branches. And when all of this happened, we had to close our doors, and we still wanted to reach out to our members and to the community. So we started to offer to everybody online Zoom classes, and they are live. They are completely free. And again, the same thing. It was a totally different medium and a completely different platform that we all had to learn to use. We have over 40 classes at the Yarrow branch alone. Anything from power sculpt to boot camp to bar to high fitness. So anything that anyone would want to try, it is on there with an amazing group of colleagues that I work with. So it was basically a way to reach out.
The YMCA, or are you?
No. So that is the most, I think, the YMCA is all about community and giving, and they are just an amazing organization, not only to work for, but to be just a part of. And it is completely free. You do not have to be a member. Anyone can join. And I think one of the coolest things about it is that we have members that come or participants that join, and they join with people on the East Coast that are their family, and they connect with them, and they join with people over maybe in London that are their family that are overseas. And it's the connection of people is just amazing.
If nothing else that this has done, coronavirus, has definitely taught us how to use Zoom and connect with our family and our friends in all the states and worldwide. Like, why we never did that before, it's amazing. But it's a great technique. And the fact that they can connect and do an exercise class with somebody else has got to be fun. It's kind of like Peloton bike, right? A lot of, that's another thing that has brought the community together, Peloton. So
absolutely.
Let's talk about exercise and just kind of what exercise does. Like, people are having a hard time. How can they start at any level? What if they haven't been exercising for a while? This is very emotional for a lot of people, and we have a lot of people in a lot of financial trouble. And so let's talk about what exercise does to the soul and the mind, and how they get started if they haven't been doing this for a while. So Drorit, let's answer that.
Well, I think that it's, there's exercise, I can speak for yoga, is that, and I think it works really any exercise you do, it's a distraction, and the thing about distractions is, when you're dealing with something that's real in your life, that's something that's really not going away. I consider this pandemic it's an awful issue. It's horrible, but it will go away. It will take a little bit longer for some people, to build back up. For some people, it'll be shorter. I don't think there's really going to be very many people who will never somehow bounce back. This is kind of like a transitory situation. So I feel like in situations like that, when something is passing, it's really okay to have a distraction. Usually you shouldn't distract yourself from a real problem, because then you don't attack it, you don't take care of it, you don't work through it because you're like, oh no, I'm not going to pay attention. But this is a really perfect thing where it's okay to have a real distraction, because it will pass. There's nothing we can do about it. It's not something that we made a mistake doing or we need to learn a lesson from, although a lot of us are learning lessons at this time for sure, 100%. So it's a really wonderful distraction, mentally and emotionally. All I know is that, before I go and take a yoga class, and years ago, before I discovered yoga, whatever classes I used to do, the boot camp classes and all that kind of stuff too, that did the same for me. It was really wonderful. It was great. It's great to move your body, get the endorphins flowing, remind you that there's something other than what your brain is focused on. And even though it might just be for an hour or an hour and a half, you start to train your brain that not everything that passes behind your eyes is all there is. And so it's really nice to take that time off and just really give time to yourself. People think that when they give time to themselves, they're being selfish. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. But really, you're just going to be better at anything you're doing if you took some time for yourself to carry your body, to carry your mental state, your emotional state, and you'll just be better for everyone.
I can't agree more. I mean, I think that in a time like this, it's so important to take care of yourself first, because you can't take care of your family and everybody else if you don't take care of yourself first. And health, mind, body is so important, because you're right. We didn't do anything wrong. This came to us and we're all living in it together.
Yeah.
Kerri, what about if you haven't been exercising in the 5 weeks, and how do people get started? And is there a level that anybody can do? Do you modify? Like, we don't want people to get hurt and then they can't go to the doctors, right? So
Absolutely. Yes. So we always give modifications in all of our classes. Anyone can do any of it. It's really for any level, and you take it at your own pace. And it's about having that time to yourself. It's 45 minutes. And I always say to my students that we're making them strong from the inside and out. And that's what it is. It's really that release. It's that coming back to what makes us move. Movement is so important. Makes us feel good, gives us that boost of energy, that boost of endorphins, and really connects us to our bodies as well. So taking at your own pace, absolutely, anybody can do any level. I'll show a baseline level, I'll show a medium level, and I'll show for those that want to kick it up, a couple of notches. So if someone feels like I've been doing this for a while and I want to go back to where I was, then they can take it there. But yes, low impact, medium, high impact, all out if they want it. But breathing, centering, connecting with yourself, any level.
A lot around us about, we always say your meds. So meditation, exercise, diet, and sleep. If we don't have our meds, if we don't take our right meds with meditation, exercise, diet, and sleep, our bodies we can't function. And then the stress feels more important than the stress and everything like that. And I think that's, from what we see going on in the community and what you guys are doing with the Y and Agoura Power of Yoga, and offering yourself and to the community is amazing. And so I thank you both. And I want to just summarize. Let's just talk. Drorit, we need to friend you on Facebook. Your classes last for about 24 hours, and then you take them down. Yours are free, but you have a studio, and there are a lot of people out there who want to donate to you. So let's talk about accepting donations and what people can do, because there are people who really appreciate what you're doing, and you still have a rent to pay and you still have things to pay. So let's talk about your small business. So we need to help small businesses succeed.
Well, I just also want to say that besides friending me on Facebook, I also have a YouTube channel, and it's called Yoga with Drorit. Obviously, it's free. And there's a lot of videos on there, and I occasionally load more. You just kind of subscribe for free, and you can watch videos there. There's all different levels, a couple of how-tos that are kind of interesting. Otherwise, you can Facebook friend me. I'm accepting requests now because I know there's people, you were talking about people from all over the world kind of doing class, and I have people in Europe and Asia, all over the country that are, their friends are all over, or my students that have moved away, you know, and they live everywhere in Europe and Costa Rica, all different places. So it's really, really cool. So just friend request me, I'm accepting them now, and you can follow, I just go on at 9:00 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And all you do is go on a minute before, and then suddenly you'll see Drorit Pobuta is live, and just practice along with me. And like I said, it's there all 24 hours. So if you couldn't make it at 9 a.m., no worries at all.
And I know you give great instruction, and you talk about alignment, and I am just a klutz, and I'm not as literal as you. And I can honestly say I love your classes, and I think that like I appreciate it, and I appreciate you, and I know the community does, and I know I love Agoura Power. Yoga is important to the mind, so you know I love what you're doing, and I think you know, the donation is important. And Kerri, to find your schedule, they go on to the website, which we're posting right below, and there's a schedule, and moving your body and Zumba. I haven't tried it. I'm going to try it. I'm in my own home. Nobody can see me. So
I'm thinking
about it. Zumba. I'm going to do it too.
Exactly. Okay, yeah, it's so fun. It's so fun. And also too, they don't have to worry if someone doesn't have equipment, they don't have to worry about not having weights. We have so many options that people can use too. So I want to make sure that I mention the fact that you can use water bottles, you can use a backpack, you can use anything that works for your body. And we give those options, and we give that instruction within our classes to help guide people. So it is open to anybody and anyone's ability as well.
And I think one last thing, you did mention that the classes are for 12, you know, the kind of gear.
No, it's for anybody. No, it's for anybody. It's for anybody. Yep. So there's, so there's the group fitness classes. There's, which we mentioned, the Zumba and the sculpting classes and the boot camps. Then there's PE classes. So there's a whole range. And I have kids that come and take my class that, you know, that join with their parents. It's a release for anybody. Absolutely.
So we're here for a while. We're here. We know we're here for at least another month, if not more. Getting out and moving your body and exercising and keeping the mindset with yoga or exercise or whatever you want to do. You're both local businesses. The Y is an amazing organization. Does so many good things in our community. And we love that the Y is local here in Westlake Village, and happy to have you, Kerri. And thank you for doing all the classes that you're doing. And yoga is super important. Drorit, you're a great community member, and what you're doing every day or almost every day is amazing to go live and offer these classes for people. And Agoura Power of Yoga is a great studio in Agoura that once we do go back and are able to visit, I hope that they visit you and visit the Y. But for both of you, thank you so much for everything you're doing in the community, and let's keep our community, Conejo Valley, strong. And thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much, Lydia.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.